What's the fastest you've wiped a smirk off of someone's face? My stepfather was a master of psychological warfare. His favorite game? Finding little ways to make me feel worthless. If I got 98% on a test, he'd ask why it wasn't 100%. If I cleaned my room perfectly, he'd find a speck of dust I missed. But his favorite power move involved the dishes. Every night I'd be washing when he'd stroll in, plunge his hand into my dishwater and dramatically pull it out. This water is ice cold. Start over. Didn't matter if I was almost done. I had to dump everything and begin again. The worst part was that smirk as he walked away. His control issues extended to everything. He'd measure the lawn with a ruler after I mowed it, making me redo sections that were too long. Once he threw away my science project the night before it was due because I left it on the dining table instead of my desk. Learning responsibility, he called it. When my mom tried standing up for me, he'd shut her down with, "I won't have my stepson turning into a useless man." He did all this while maintaining a perfect public image. The involved parent volunteering at school events. I tried so hard to please him. Waking up earlier, double-checking everything, nothing worked. The goalposts always moved. After my birthday dinner where he accidentally knocked over my cake reaching for salt nobody needed, I'd had enough of his games. One day, after a particularly cruel comment about my college chances, I heard his car pull up. I quickly emptied the sink, boiled a pot of water, poured it in with soap to create innocent bubbles, and stepped back. When he walked in and reached for the water without looking, his hand plunged into the boiling liquid. His face instantly changed from smug to shocked as he yanked his hand out. He never tested my dishwater again. The next day, we got a dishwasher.
My husband asked why I sleep on the couch every night. Should I tell him what I heard? It started 3 weeks ago when I got up for water at 2 a.m. I heard voices coming from our bedroom. My husband talking to someone on the phone. She's so predictable. Goes to bed at 10 every night like clockwork. Yeah, I know exactly when she's asleep. I froze outside the door, heart pounding. The life insurance policy? $2 million? She has no idea I increased it last month. My blood went cold. I pressed myself against the wall, straining to hear every word. No, she doesn't suspect anything. Still thinks I'm the perfect husband. Makes coffee every morning, kisses me goodbye. It's almost too easy. The person on the other end must have said something because he laughed. Actually laughed, right? 15 years of marriage and she trusts me completely. Poor thing. I heard footsteps approaching the door. I crept back to the living room and dove onto the couch just as he appeared in the doorway. Honey, why are you out here? Couldn't sleep. Bad back, I whispered, keeping my eyes closed. He stood there for what felt like forever before going back to bed. That was the first night I slept on the couch. Well, pretended to sleep. The second night, I heard more details. The hiking trail reservation is confirmed. Eagles Peak, just like we talked about. That section near Devil's Drop is perfect. No cameras, no witnesses. Devil's Drop. I knew that spot. We'd hiked there on our anniversary 2 years ago. He'd joked about how dangerous the cliff edge was. She loves taking photos there. Always wants me to get the perfect shot of her by the edge. This time, I'll make sure she gets close enough. My hands shook as I recorded everything on my phone, hidden under a couch cushion. Night 3 brought new horrors. The grieving widower act won't be hard. I've been practicing in the mirror. Devastated husband who just lost his soulmate in a tragic accident. He paused, listening. Of course, I'll wait a respectable amount of time before dating again. Maybe 6 months? A year at most? Grief is exhausting, you know? By night 4, I learned about his girlfriend. Apparently, she'd been pushing him to take care of the problem for months. Sarah keeps asking when we can finally be together. She's getting impatient, says she's tired of sneaking around. Sarah, my yoga instructor. The woman I'd been confiding in about my marriage troubles. The one who suggested this hiking trip to reconnect with my husband. Night 5 revealed the timeline. This weekend is perfect. Weather forecast shows light rain. Trail will be slippery. Makes the accident more believable. He'd thought of everything. The weather, the location, even the time of day when fewer hikers would be around. For 2 weeks, I gathered evidence, recorded conversations, took screenshots of his increased life insurance policy, documented his late-night phone calls. I also started making my own plans. Last week, I called his brother Mike. We'd always been close. Mike was the one who introduced us. He's also a detective with 20 years on the force. I need your help with something, I told him. But I need you to trust me and not ask questions yet. Mike knew something was wrong. Whatever you need, sis. I sent him everything. Mike called me back within an hour. That's when we hatched our plan. Last night's phone call was the final piece. Tomorrow's the day. The trail has that cliff section at mile marker 7. One little push during the photo op. Make it look like she slipped taking a selfie. His voice was so casual, like he was discussing the weather. This morning, he made breakfast and smiled. Ready for our romantic getaway tomorrow, babe? I smiled back. Actually, I invited your brother Mike to join us. You know how he loves hiking. His face went white. Mike's a detective. Why would you do that? I thought you'd want family there. You know, in case something happens to me. He's been pacing all morning, making frantic phone calls. Mike just texted me. Got your message. Backup will be stationed at the trail. We'll get him. Tomorrow's hike is going to be very interesting.
It's a company secret you can share now that you don't work there anymore. I worked night security at a luxury high-rise condo building in Miami. The secret? The building's foundation was cracking, and management knew it for years. I discovered it when I noticed the basement security cameras kept tilting slightly. Investigating, I found massive cracks they'd hastily painted over. When I texted photos to my supervisor, he called me at 3 a.m. Delete those now. The repair would bankrupt the association. They've been hiding it since 2017. The next night, the building manager offered me $10,000 cash to forget what I saw. Said they were managing it, and repairs would cause panic. When I refused, he threatened me. You've got a daughter at Miami Central, right? Would be a shame if your employment history made it impossible to pay her college tuition. I went straight to my cousin, who works for the city inspector's office. Within 48 hours, the building was evacuated. The news crews arrived as residents carried whatever they could grab. The manager spotted me watching from across the street and lunged at me, screaming. The punch he threw at me was captured live on Channel 7. 3 months later, the building was condemned. My testimony sent 2 board members and the manager to prison for criminal negligence. That $10,000 hush money he offered, the DA found he'd taken it directly from the elderly residents' emergency fund. I lost my job, but saved 340 lives. What's the worst thing a boss has ever asked you to do for your job? My boss handed me an empty jug and a list of 24 competitor businesses. Collect water from each of these. Their success will transfer to us when I pour it here, she explained, dead serious. I had to physically ask at each reception desk, no exceptions. These places were scattered hours apart across Southern California. At the first company, I told security exactly why I needed their water. He stared, then laughed in my face. Get out before I call the police. Second place thought I was filming a prank. Third accused me of corporate espionage. By the fourth company, I changed tactics. Water quality testing for Orange County. That worked. 1 down, 23 to go. My boss clapped with joy when I reported my first success. Then at company number 5, security stopped me. You're the water collection guy, right? My boss had called their CEO about her spiritual water plan. They were expecting me. For 2 days, I drove around collecting samples, each interaction more awkward than the last. Some openly mocked me. One CEO wanted to trade spiritual business practices. By the final evening, my jug was only half full with 12 companies left. I returned to my apartment, completely defeated. That's when I saw the maintenance guy adding chemicals to our pool. What's that blue stuff? I asked. Just clarifier. Makes the water look nicer. I watched the swirling blue liquid, the same corporate blue as most company logos. When he left, I filled the rest of my jug with pool water. Next morning, I delivered the competitor water. 2 weeks later, we landed our biggest client ever. The ritual worked, my boss said triumphantly. I just smiled.